Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. Excuse me. Still got a little bit of a cold, trying to get over it, getting there bit by bit. But since years ago now, after having a couple of lashes of the old COVID, I forget, can't say that word now, isn't it? Let's call it Monsieur Number C, yeah, Agent Number C. Whenever it's cold, yeah, I've just noticed that it can affect my lungs a bit. As you can see, I'm wearing my nice warm hat. Thank you, Lizette. Yes, Lizette gave this glorious Canadian hat thing to me ages ago, actually. This was back when international shipping was didn't basically kind of didn't cost you a week's worth of shopping or a nice lunch. I mean, it's just ridiculous now. Anyway, but as you may know already, you would have seen from my pictures, it is super cold here in the UK. We're having a bit of a cold snap. So I've actually got my scarf on to try and keep my neck warm. Not that it's super, not that my flat's super freezing, but it is an old, I live in an old Georgian terrace. So the flat that I live in is well over 300 years old. And they didn't think about insulation back then. Surprise, surprise. But when you live in a garret, there you go. So I wanted to mention that. This is going to be 2023 predictions. Now, many of you would have read my little blog I did a while ago. Well, actually, about a week and a half ago, something like that. Thanks so much to everyone who read and enjoyed that blog. And did I back it up with in it? That's it. I discussed like 2023 predictions for global leaders. So that was Joe Biden, and then of course Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, and Duck L'Orange. Yeah, you all know who that is. Today's date is Wednesday, the 14th of December, and it's 21:41 right now. So in terms of UK time, so 9:41. I always forget to do that in every video. I'll put it in the timestamp or whatever, but it's always good to know which day. Today we're going to look at all signs. 2023 is looking very interesting. We've got two big stelliums as well, and this is the first time I'm actually going to make this part of the prediction for each sign, because I just think it's significant. There's going to be a lot of action happening in each other's houses. We're also going to talk as well about the eclipses for next year as well, so we'll be talking about that. Thank you to everyone that's also booked consultations as well. So many of you booked, so thank you, really appreciate that. And next year as well, I'm not mentioning yet, but I'm going to be in a different location next year. Yeah, I'm so glad that I booked this thing, but all will be revealed. But let's just put it that way. I'll be in a different location next year and getting away from all this horrible cold and misery of this, ridiculous, Tory government that we have to endure here, who's just caused so many problems. But that would be a digression. Another thing I want to share, and I've been meaning to kind of talk about this for ages, but I always kept forgetting, and now I've put it in front of me. Yeah. So I am working on a front cover of a book that I am yet to write. But this is a front cover with a difference. I've always loved illuminated manuscripts. Yeah, these are these beautiful scrolls with calligraphy and illustrated and stuff like that. And I used to love the covers, the cases that these books used to come in, and they're often bejeweled and stuff like that. And I've always wanted to create something like that of my own. Here is the master copy. Yeah, it's called the Book of Power for now. The paperback, in my mind, will be called something else. Slightly controversial title, but I mean, I'll have to see if it actually happens. But this here is watercolor paper. I'm actually going to turn this into a watercolor. And this is my my mock-up of an original sketch Oh my God, let me just do this quickly. I should have had this page prepared in advance, sorry. Just so you can see how it's different. Here we are. So this is the original sketch that I did in a cafe, yeah? So it went from that to this. So this is gonna have color, oh gosh, gonna have color on it. And then I took some photocopies of it so I could then experiment. So this is the photocopy, and then I've actually gone over it again in pen, and you can see here I'm experimenting with, you know, filling in the different things. This is would actually work as a Southern style Indian chart, believe it or not. This is all of the nakshatras and the padas, and it all works. I had to figure it all out, get it all drawn, and it's this real passion. And the next thing I'm going to put in is some gemstones, and I'm going to look up some of the gemstones of the planets. I know them already, but I just want to find some interesting ones. And this is a book that I read when I was a kid. I love this, and it's called The Magic of Precious Stones, The Hidden Powers of Gems and Their Influence on Man, and it's by Millie Dirt. That's her last name. I don't think it's in print anymore, because this was given to me as a kid by my mother, and it was in print when, I think it was 1981. Oh my God, this book is quite old already, so over 40 years old. You can see the pages are quite yellowed. But in here, this book was such an inspiration for me, and it talks about salicylic acid and all these different things, the things that go into opal, you know, stuff like that. So this book inspired me. So now that I'm a grown-up, I want to try and create these incredible things, but these are long-term projects. So I just wanted to let you know some of these things that will be happening in 2023 and beyond. I'm going to give 3 minutes to each sign, so the video is not too long, and I've already rabbiting on quite a bit already. And I'm going to be using this as a reference just when I'm pointing out the different ascendants. These are where the eclipses are happening: sidereal Aries and sidereal Libra again. Remember, Rahu and Ketu that cause the eclipses, they stay in the signs for 18 months, yeah? So this next set of eclipses that come, they will have a similar theme. They won't be exactly the same, because this year's eclipse is all about Bharani Nakshatra, which is what? The female reproductive system. What happened 2 days after, on 30th of April, to start off the 2022, to start off the new cycle for this year, the sun was in Bharani Nakshatra, which is what? The female reproductive system. What has been the theme about all of 2023, which culminated on what? On the last lunar eclipse of the year, which was November 8th, 2022, midterm elections. We saw the result, the culmination, and everything, Roe versus Wade, and all of the cra that was going on. But eventually those people were rejected, yeah, because they realized that democracy and reproductive rights matter. So, you know, well done. I mean, not all, it doesn't mean all of the cray-crays have gone to bed just yet. And there's more we need to kind of talk about those themes next year, particularly with the GOP. Pardon me, but we can see then how those eclipses work. Also as well, how do eclipses work? They bring something that is hidden out into the light. Yeah, something we may have suspected that was there before, but not explicit. Eclipses can bring it out. They're also as well, remember my analogy for eclipses, that they're like escalators. You know, when you go to the mall or any place where there's escalators, there's one going up, one coming down. Eclipses, I find, are like that. They take people or animals out. Sadly, many of you lost loved ones, many of you lost pets. That was quite a big theme that I was seeing around eclipse time. So commiserations and stuff like that. Well, you saw, I mean, near the eclipse, is not quite so close to me, but there was still that theme, my dad passing, etc. But there were lots of other things that happened. But also as well, eclipses can bring new relationships in. Some may even find a little bit of romance and stuff there, without naming names, but some of my clients have actually found romance unexpectedly. So eclipses, for me, they're like the World card and the Tower card combined. Endings and beginnings, beginnings and endings, sudden shocks and surprises, but can also be excitement, career changes, births and stuff like that. So it's not all bad with eclipses. So there's that. What else do I need to talk about before we kind of get into the nitty gritty, and I'll set my timer. Now look, my timer's slightly loud. And so I'm going to move it off to one side. But, you know, if you've got sensitive ears or a weak bladder, watch out. Yeah. But I've got to have the 3 minutes. Otherwise, you know, it needs to be timely. And we're already 10 minutes in already. Okay. What do I need to talk about? Remember, we all know about my the dream that I had, my dragon dream of China. What I forgot to say as well, I had the dream on the 28th, on 28th of November, 2022. 29th of November, Jing Zemin passed away. Now, remember what I said? I said these big deaths tend to come in three. And I said there'll be three, you know, statesmen that would pass. Great statesmen. Mikhail Gorbachev, yeah. Then we had the Queen. I can't remember if one was in front of the other. I think Gorbachev went earlier. He was in the spring, wasn't he? If I remember correctly. Write in the comments. Gorbachev, the Queen, and then Jiang Zemin was the leader. He died at 96, same age as the Queen. He was the leader that took over during the Tiananmen Square time in 1989. All of the riots, famously, so many of us know about that. He took over then, and then was one of the architects. There obviously would have been people that helped him, but one of the architects for the super growth of China for many decades. And now, of course, we see what's happening in the world. Xi Jinping and, you know, Monsieur Mr. C, shall we say, has changed a lot of that. Also had that dream about releasing the dragon. And then a few days later, they started to roll back COVID restrictions. I can't take full credit for that. And anything else that happens. But I just thought that dream was very interesting, wasn't it? About the releasing of the dragon, the spirit of the Chinese people, and, you know, that metaphorical sense there. I think, other thing as well. Do you remember in, not Hogely just gone, but the week before, and in the cards I said, Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be making some kind of move, some kind of impact. Have you heard recently what that douchebag has been saying? And she said, basically, if I ran Jan 6th, then I would have won and there would have been guns, or we would have won and there would have been guns. How are these people still walking free? This is ridiculous. We've had coups kicking off. Germany, they had to arrest a whole bunch of people because someone who said he's got royal lineage, that he should be the supreme leader and take over all of, you know, Germany. We had the massive coup thing in oh my God, where was it? Was it Venezuela? Oh my God, where did he? Where was it? Peru, Castillo. He said, right, that's it. I'm taking over. Blah blah blah. Martial law. Arrested. We've had over 2 years now. People basically confessing to the whole thing. Anyway, I don't want to digress too much, but we all know the reason why these people are still walking free. And this is something to reflect on as a nation. Yeah, let's put it that way. As for news for the UK, it's bloody cold and we're up the spout. That's basically the long and short of it. We are up the spout, round the bend, round the twist. All sorts of strikes and all this, that, and the other stuff going on. It's all going tits up over here. So that's the news here from the UK. And this government needs to be abolished. And we need to just start again because it's a whole load of rubbish. Yeah, right now, a whole load of rubbish. But anyway, I'll be somewhere else next year to be revealed. Right, now let's begin. So this is going to look complicated, so I'm going to explain this now. Try and watch all the video. I will do timestamps though. However, I will do timestamps. Takes a little while, but whatnot. So here, what we're looking at. Zodiac, yeah? Eclipses, Aries, Libra. What are these extra planets? All this extra action here is what is happening on March 23rd, 2023. Now, why did I put that in? Because when you get big stelliums, and when you actually see it on my software, it's actually much more like a seesaw, like this. It means a lot of emphasis. A client of mine, her name begins with L. I won't reveal her full name, but I'm giving you a... No, in fact, I'll say Lynn. Giving you a shout out, because I said I'll give you a shout out. So it was fascinating. And without giving away too many details, we were talking about retirement. Let's just put it that way. We were talking about retirement and timings and stuff like that. And what transpired by reading my client's chart, and we also did some tarot as well. I pulled 5 tarot cards for her. Guess who came out in the cards and things in her chart in regards to pensions, which are connected to economy and all that stuff? The GOP. Oh my goodness. I kid you not. The GOP came out. Why is this important? The reason why it's important is because, as we know, they're going to have the gavel, yeah? Some early time. Is it literally Jan 6th, or maybe it's Jan 3rd or Jan 6th, something like that. Ah, the irony, yeah? The gavel is going to have to be handed over to the Republicans, yeah? We all know this, yeah? They've got a slim majority in the House, like I said, but it's thinner than a mosquito's willy, yeah? So anything could happen. Anything could happen. But what I saw, looking at my client's chart and then looking at the chart of America and the tarot cards all together, this is what I think. All they've got is sabotage, yeah? We've heard the rhetoric coming out of their mouths, and we've heard what MTG has had to say. Yeah, they're complete lulabins. We know it's a cult, what have you. This is what I think they're going to try and do. Obviously, amongst their own squabbling within themselves, and I'm sure their friend, a certain Madame Cinema, will be helping them out where she can. But that aside, I think the only recourse left of them, of course, is sabotage. We know already, and I said, remember, there'll be these themes where it's going to be about Hunter Biden's laptop and all that stuff. Started already, and this, that, and the other. Let's just see where that goes. That's just a triggered factor in Biden's chart. If you want to know more about that, look at that recording, yeah, in my playlist. But the point is this. I think the GOP or the Republicans running out of ideas, or they've run out of ideas, all they've got is sabotage. And I think they might try and do something to shut down the government. Yeah. This is why Bernie Sanders has said, and I wish more people would listen to him, to be frankly, he's been very prescient. And he said, we need to pass the debt ceiling increase, yeah, in the USA before those SOBs get hold of the gavel, yeah? If it's not before then, just think what they're going to try and do. They're going to hold everyone to ransom. They're going to say, we're not going to increase the debt ceiling and we're going to shut down the government. And that's why it was relevant for my client's chart, because pensions can often be split between private parts and the government. The government part would literally be shut down if the government shut down. And then that made me think of all of my clients that are either soon to retire, and I was like, wow. So I just wanted to kind of put that in there. So we saw Marjorie Taylor Greene doing her craziness, and there could be issues. I just see them just trying to cause as much havoc as they can. Hopefully they won't succeed, but I think Biden's going to have to use his executive pen and what have you. They're going to have to be as diligent as they can, try and pass as much as they can. But this is just a sabotage brigade. Like I said, these people, they're not politicians, they're saboteurs. Let's see what they come up with. But it wouldn't surprise me if there are those kind of themes, particularly with these big stelliums here. Okay, so now let's begin. Oh, look at that. Oh, 90 minutes in, but I had to get all of that off my chest. There was quite a lot to share. So now we're going to be talking about Aries. Yeah? Let's talk about Aries. We're going to start with Aries first. Oof! What are we? 19 minutes 25. Aries. Now, so this is if you are Aries rising. Now, I'm talking about the sidereal placements, yeah? Just look up free sidereal calculator or something like that. I've not got it together enough to get one up on my website. Too long, and maybe next year. Look up just Google it, free sidereal chart. put in your details, and then you can see your sidereal placements. So for anyone that is Aries Ascendant or Aries Moon, this will be relevant. The moon is such a significant part of the chart, you can actually use it as an alternative ascendant. All right. So sidereal, Aries, moon, or ascendant. That means you're going to be having the eclipses in your first house. Oh my God, all of you are Aries. You've already been through the tumble dryer once as it is already. And guess what? The universe is giving you another go around. Yeah. So you can have another spin. In there as well, talking about these planets. So we're going to have the stellium of the moon, Rahu, Venus, and Uranus. And this is March 23rd, 2023. And then we got the second stellium, 5-planet stellium, happening with Neptune, Sun, Chiron, Mercury, and Jupiter all together. Yeah, Mercury will technically, well, he'll be in his sign of debilitation, and actually on this day he's at his exact point of debilitation. Mercury is the mechanism of the mind, logistics, stuff like that. So this could be really when the GOP throw a spanner in the works to affect logistics, but not just the GOP. This could be happening all over the world, travel disruptions, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, so for, oh God, start the 3-minute thing. So for Aries people, so again, big transformation. It means the solar eclipses. So the solar eclipse is happening on the 20th of April, 2023 in Ashwini Nakshatra. Then there will be the lunar eclipse happening on the 28th of October, 2023. And then on the Libra side, we will have the lunar eclipse happening on the 15th of May, 2023. And the solar eclipse will be happening on the 14th of October, 2023. Yeah. So this is where they are, because the eclipses, they happen 2 weeks apart and then 6 months apart. Yeah. Anyway, so big change again for all Aries ascendants, transformation, personal identity, reconfiguring, having to look at the world in completely different ways. Jupiter will also be going into sidereal Aries in April. So that will give a boost and an expansion. It's going to add a lot of dynamic, a lot of rebirth stuff. Will be a big theme for all of us in 2023. Rebirths, reconfigurations, new technologies, breakthroughs, all of that kind of stuff. If we look here in the 12th house for the Aries, so yep, so if we count, it goes clockwise this way. If we go backwards one, where this stellium is happening, that means lots of action as well in the 12th house. 12th house is what? Beginnings and endings. Endings and beginnings. A lot of you could be retiring, like my client, yeah? The timing for whatever it was that she was talking about really fit with the astrology. So there was that. But also as well, endings, letting go of things, but this can also do with expenses, but it can also deal with travels as well. So Aries people, watch your expenses. Yeah, really have to watch your expenses, because this is 5 planets now. Neptune, the great dissolver, Sun, Mercury, debilitated, Chiron, and Jupiter, all in the 12th house on March 23rd, 2023. So you've got to look after the money, but this is also a good time to travel, far distance land. Maybe if things aren't working out, get away from it all. Let's just put it that way. Get away from it all, and maybe just take a break, something like that. Could be retirement themes, things to do as well with hospitals and prisons. Not saying anyone's going to prison or going to be in a hospital, but there could be things connected with that as well, because that is also what the 12th house represents. But it's also a great time for spirituality and taking things to the next level in that sense. There we are. Let's start again. Now we're going to move over to Taurus. So here we are. So this is sidereal Taurus rising or moon. Yeah. And that means this action is going to be happening in your 12th house and 11th house. Ooh. So here, so the eclipses are going to be falling. So for Taurus, they've got a 12th house theme as well. Because remember, Taurus and Aries are just one sign apart. So this is what? Eclipses, things coming out of the dark in regards to the 12th house. So endings and beginnings, beginnings and endings. Things going up the escalator, stuff going down the escalator. 12th house also deals with dreams, but bed pleasures, believe it or not. So some of the Taurus people could maybe be having a little bit of frisson or excitement, shall we say. Potentially, yeah, because 12th house is bed pleasures, which is also dealing with faraway lands and all of that kind of stuff as well. I also as well. Oh, do you know what? I'm just going to focus on the earlier eclipses. Otherwise, this video would be too long. So there you are. So 12th house eclipses, 11th house, which is also where the stellium is. So you see here, so a big emphasis. So if you are Aries, of course, all of this was happening in the first house. We're going one side across, which means this is all happening in the 12th house. The eclipse is here happening for the 12th house for Taurus people. But then we need to look at the 11th house, yeah, stellium here. So the 11th house is about great gains, but it's also about elder siblings. It's also about rubbing shoulders with people. It's internationalism. It's hopes, dreams, and desires. So there's quite a complex combination going on here for the Taurus people. They're going to be having transformations in their 12th house, but they could also as well, in terms of some of their long-term plans, their ambitions, but particularly their spirituality. Pisces is a very spiritual sign. So when you combine that with the energy of the 12th house, many Taurus people are going to be going through spiritual revelations. They might be giving up old jobs, starting new jobs. They could be retiring and then wanting to go on big adventures, big journeys, things that they've been wanting to do for a very long time. So this could be when your desires and everything like that begin to really start to play out. I can just see the timer is just about to go. Let me just make a little note here. And then we'll just see, this is 27, 11, just take the time. So yeah, so think about that. Spirituality, travels, letting go will be a theme. There we are. Okay, now we're moving on to the next one. Now we are talking about, and when was that? That was 2730, 2730. Let's write that down. Now we're going to be talking about Gemini. Okay, so Gemini, quick slurp. Now we're rapidly moving along. Yeah, so we can see here, so we have to count backwards. So if we go here, so for Gemini, this, if we actually just count around 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is 10th and 11th house activation. So for the Geminis, the eclipse is happening in their 11th house. So there could be some revelation or something in regards to one of the siblings, elder siblings, something like that. But not just that, it's also hopes, dreams, and desires, just like what I was talking about. But the eclipses are falling here. So there could be some revelation, some insight, some sudden change in some kind of way, something moving in, something moving out in terms of a great dream and desire of some kind. What that will be, we'll have to see when the eclipses happen. But also as well on the 23rd of March, it means the moon, Rahu, Venus, and Uranus are in the 10th house as well. Uranus is what? Sudden shocks and surprises, as we've seen with these eclipses. Rahu is something unusual and different. Venus is the assets, money, beauty, arts, all of that kind of stuff. And the moon deals with the public and people. So there's something kind of to do with a big dream or desire. It could be an artistic project, a creative project, something that is dealing with the public. Trades, goods, services also can deal with the 11th house, side hustle, income. Yeah, some of you Geminis might be on a side hustle. At the same time, on March 23rd, 2023, like I was talking about, all of this is happening in the 10th house for Geminis. So this could be a real kind of reevaluation of your career, particularly as for Geminis, Jupiter is the lord of the 10th house going into Actually, it's going to be, sorry, Lord of the 10th house in the 10th house. Forgive me, there's Jupiter. So for Gemini ascendants, it rules those two houses, Sagittarius, Pisces. Well, it rules both, but here how it shows. So there's some kind of transformation, some kind of expansion in the career. And particularly when Jupiter goes into Aries in April, I can't remember exactly when, but it's going to be in April. It's going to go into Aries. That means the Lord of your 10th house will go into your 11th house of great dreams and desires. So there could be lots of new things kind of going on, lots of expansion. Yep, there we are. Next one. Now we're going to go into the sign of Cancer. We're speeding along, speeding along. So let's count round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, very significant for Cancerians. This is where they're going to really see a big expansion. New revelations, surprises, dynamic transformations in their philosophy and beliefs, 9th house, and their career, 10th house. Big action. I mean, this is something as well, because I'm Cancer rising as well, so this also applies to me and anyone else. So remember, Cancer moon, Cancer rising sidereally. Check yourself out on the free chart calculators. So what's the 10th house? 10th house, of course, is what? Career. Yeah, career, name, fame, all of these kind of things. But also as well, ambitions and public duties. 10th house is also public duties. So many Cancerians are going to find that they have to step up, or things will go to the next level. They could be getting a lot of attention, but they could also be getting a lot of pressure as well. 10th house has a lot of pressure associated with it. However, for Cancer ascendants, Mars is the ruler of the 10th house of career. So it can be a very dynamic time. Mars has been up to a lot of stuff. I think he's also as well in sidereal Gemini at this point. I forgot to scribble him in. This is 23rd of March, 2023. I think he is actually. So this is going to be a time of communications, travels, adventures, all of those kind of things. Quite funny, isn't it? I just mentioned that I'm going to be somewhere different next year, to be revealed. But this is a general theme as well for all Cancerians. Also as well, their 9th houses are being very activated, because for all Cancer ascendants, the 9th house becomes Pisces, yeah? Pisces here. And look at this huge stellium here. So it means travel, internationalism, also as well, teaching, educating as well. 9th house is all about teaching, education, all of those kind of things. Or as well, higher learning of all kinds. So this is a very expansive time for Cancerians for 2023 as a theme kind of going forward. I'll also as well mention what Saturn will be doing, because I've not put him in here in these descriptions. I'll end with Saturn because that's important for all of us. I realize that. So yeah, themes around travel, adventure, going to islands as well. Neptune is involved there. Spirituality, lots of psychic dreams and downloads and stuff like that. Pisces is a very dreamy sign as it is. So a lot of that will be expanding out. 9th house is also a lucky house as well. So I think, Cancerians who've had it choppy for the last few years, if you're sidereal Cancer rising, then you might be in luck. Okay, let's move on now. Leo. Here we are, Leo. So let's count round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for Leos, this is happening in the 8-9 axis. Yeah. So for Leos, the eclipses are happening in the 9th house, which is what? Legalities. Yeah. It can also be legalities. 9th house deals with travel, philosophies, but also law and lawmakers. Now, a certain Duc Larange, as you guys will know, is a Leo rising in sidereal astrology. And the eclipses have been falling in his 9th house and 3rd house via Libra, 3rd house communications media. Look what has been happening to Duc Larange. Lots of accountability over what? Things that he's been saying. Yeah? So, and he's also going to be having a big 8th house activation as well. So you see here, look, there's this big stellium here happening in the 8th house. For ordinary Leos, this means transformation. Yeah, transformation. But there could be some shocks and surprises. Yeah, the 8th house is a very unpredictable and dynamic house. So to have a stellium of 5 factors in the 8th house does mean transformation and change. So hold on to your underwear. But just because transformation and change is coming doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. This is actually an opportunity. Leos have an opportunity to put themselves through a kind of alchemy, yeah? Turning the lead into gold, as I've been talking about, which also reminds me as well, did you see those things recently with the new energy sources, nuclear fusion and all of that kind of stuff? Pluto, energy, transformation. Pluto is also represents the 8th house. So for Leo ascendants, their 8th house comes under Pisces. So there's going to be lots of spiritual transformation. Does it mean Duck Larange is going to have an epiphany? You never know, but it is unlikely. If he does, it's going to be an internal one. But for the other Leos who are quite spiritual already, this could be epiphanies here. The eclipses are happening in your 9th house of travel, like I said, legalities, stuff like that. But this is also time to upgrade and evolve one's philosophies, education, and stuff like that. So I would say for the Leo rising people and Leo moon, remember this is the rising sign and the moon sign, some of the biggest transformations are going to be happening for you guys this year, because the houses of transformation, other people's money, 8th house, yeah, sex, death, rock and roll, and the 9th house, philosophy, beliefs, travels, foreign lands, languages, are both being stimulated. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of action for you guys. All right, on to the next. Now we go to Virgo. Breakneck speed here. Virgos, what can you guys expect? Let's have another slurp. San Pellegrino, by the way. Non-alcoholic. And if we look here, so Virgos are lovely Virgos. So if we look here, if we count round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So for Virgos, oh, this is fascinating, yeah? Because you guys are having the eclipses in the houses of relationships and transformation, yeah? Because I'm doing 2 houses this time because of that. The 2 big stelliums on March 23rd, 2023. So here, Pisces is the natural 7th house, yeah, for Virgos. Sorry, there it is opposite here. So that stellium is going to put a great deal of emphasis on relationships, trades, goods, services, business, imports and exports, and all of that kind of stuff. The 7th house is anyone that's not us, yeah? It represents our path to completion, shall we say, yeah? Going across this way. But it can also be the house of open enemies. And then at the same time, in the 8th house here, the eclipses are falling. So for Virgos, there could be some kind of surprises around loved ones or business partners or just business in general. There could be some sudden unexpected changes or innovations. Remember, Aries is a sign of innovation. So if we look here, the eclipses are happening in the 8th house of Virgos. But their stellium is also there as well in their 7th house of relationships. So this is going to be very big, major transformations in relationships, goods, services, business, imports and exports, business partners, marriage partners, relationships of all kinds. Yeah, there'll be emphasis. There will be emphasis there. Obviously, as 2023 progresses, we can talk more in detail about this, as this is a general overview. But Virgos as well, get ready. Lots of transformation. 7th and 8th house always deals with relationships as well. 8th house is other people's money. So it could be, there could be sudden changes in the spouse's money. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Could be a good thing. They could get a bonus, yeah? They could make some kind of breakthrough. They could have some kind of transformation in their career. But don't be surprised, though, if these themes come up. They so often do in regards to these kind of things. I'm going to set this to 2.5 minutes, actually, because I think, let's just put, oh, what the fuck? Oh, my God. Sorry. Excuse my language. Oh, my goodness. Let's put that. Even though I've just taken up that time now where I could have been speaking. Anyway, never mind. There we are. So let's go to Libra. Libra. Now, here, Libras, this is going to be very interesting because really, it's the Aries and the Libras. They're getting the action again. Yeah, they're getting double dose. Yeah, double dose this year for Libra Moon people, Libra Ascendant and Aries Ascendant, Aries Moon. Yeah, because that's actually where the eclipses are happening. So here, Libras will be getting their eclipses in the first house now, but remember they're split throughout the year. So they'll be getting the lunar eclipse on the 15th of May 2023, and then the solar eclipse on the 14th of October 2023. We'll all be getting that in Libra, but Libras will be getting in their first house and their seventh house. And this, of course, applies to Aries ascendant people as well. So again, that means what? Great transformation and change, reconfigurations in some way in one's life. Things come out of the dark. Yeah, things come out of the dark. Relationships go out. New relationships come in. Doesn't necessarily mean all the relationships will end, but you know, there will be movement. There'll be transition. This will also as well deal with what? Relationships, because the first eclipse of the new season will be happening in Libra's seventh house, which is what? Anyone that's not us. So changes in business, marriage, relationships, etc. Very dynamic. Whenever the eclipses are falling in the first 1-7 axis for those signs that year, they always have a tremendous amount of change. Yeah, they always have a tremendous amount of change that comes into their lives. So for Libras and Aries, it's kind of like a little bit more of the same, but with a slight evolution, because Ashwini is the earliest part of Aries. That's where the nodes are going to be. Well, Rahu's going to be there. Ketu is going to be in Swati and Libra. So, but Ashwini is all about speed, innovation. We're really going to see next year speed up, particularly when Saturn moves into sidereal Aquarius on the 17th of January 2023, but I'll add Saturn on at the end, so watch to the end. So big changes there for Libra ascendants. There we are. Let's start again. I think 2.5 minutes is fine. Okay, moving around to Scorpio. Don't want this video to be too long. Moving around to Scorpio. So let's count round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Scorpios are getting the first solar eclipse of the year in their 6th house, which deals with what? Health and healing and overcoming obstacles. Along with that stellium, yeah, and the other stellium happening in Pisces, which of course is happening in the 5th house, as I just said. So 5th house deals with creativity, fun, can also deal with children as well, but not just physical children, our brain babies. It deals with giving consultation and advice to others, but also receiving consultation and advice. It deals with the intelligence, the mind. Scorpios are going to have a lot going on in their mind in 2023. Look at all of this. Look, those planets there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Neptune, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Chiron. Yeah, all there. And then at the same time, Moon, Rahu, Venus, Uranus in the 6th house. Wow. My advice to Scorpios would be definitely get yourself onto some nice kind of health regime. Yeah, you're going to have to be looking after your health in 2023, making sure everything's spick and span. Don't get too scared about it, but just work on it. Food, diet, meditation and relaxation could also be part of that, because look, 5th house is Pisces, and for you, Pisces is about spirituality, yeah, and letting go, dissolving of things happening in your 5th house, the mind. So this is going to be a time where there's going to be lots of thoughts going through the mind, and you're going to have to strip out any repetitive or obsessive thoughts and try and relax. Get into water and be more spiritual. The eclipses are happening in your 6th house. 6th house is also an Arthur house, which means money house, believe it or not. 6th house deals with not only health and healing and overcoming obstacles, but daily routines, the daily commute. Also deals with enemies, yeah? Fighting your enemies and trying to win. So this could be a dynamic year for Scorpios, where they will have a lot in their mind, and they maybe already could be emerging, because we're getting closer in these energies, where they might have to face down some enemies, or or win some kind of battles or something like that. But it is excellent for working on your health, personal fitness training, diets, yoga, Reiki, all of that kind of stuff. Get some of that stuck in, and that can mitigate some of the surprises that could be turning up there. Right. Wow, whizzing round. Now we are at Sagittarius. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Sagittarius moon or rising are having 4-5 house activation. Fourth house is all about what? The mother, real estate, sense of security, comforts, stuff like that. Yeah, you see there's lots of planets here. So this will be, so many people that are Sagittarius could be dealing with themes around the mother, or helping the mother out, or moving house, or buying something new. Things to do with real estate, redecorating as well could be another thing, or new additions to the family. Jupiter is actually in here, yeah, the chart, which is the chart ruler for Sagittarius. Jupiter also represents children and the husband. So it could be, there could be things changing with the children or the husband, but particularly as well, as these eclipses are actually happening in the fifth house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Expect news and dynamic breakthroughs in regards to one's children as well. But one's children could also do something surprising or unusual that you don't expect. You could also have some genius ideas at this time. We're talking major downloads. Fifth house deals with the intelligent mind. Many houses, there's quite a few houses that represent the mind, but the fifth house does deal with that intelligent mind, the sort of like divine downloads, mantras, astrology, giving counsel and advice to others, receiving counsel and advice from others. So there could be some divine guidance for the Sagittarians, but also as well, maybe some tumultuous energy or something dynamic going on in the home, real estate. Could be, you know, redecorating, all that stuff. Or there could be issues perhaps to do with water or plumbing, yeah, Pisces. Or this could be going to the water for a sense of comfort. So maybe going to the seaside, going to a lake, going to a river to try and chill out and calm down with everything that could be going on. But expect dynamic ideas this year. Also as well, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. As I said before, Jupiter is currently in his own sign of Pisces, and then he's going to move into Aries, where he does very well actually. So for the Sagittarians, this could be a real time of dynamic ideas and even writing books as well. Sport too. Fifth house is romance, sport, writing books, passion, energy. So quite a dynamic year for Sagittarius. Right, next. Now we're looking at Capricorn. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here for Capricorns, they're getting the 3-4 house activation with the actual eclipse happening in the fourth house. So this could actually be really some interesting news around the mother, quite literally, or especially around real estate. But there could be something comes out of the dark that's unexpected. There could be a family secret that comes out, or some kind of dynamic change. It could be a positive change. These really could be scenarios where people are buying new homes, or they move out, or, you know, for some reason, or something new and changing, because Aries is all about speed, energy, being first, pioneering. So could this be maybe buying a property abroad for the first time or something like that? It remains to be seen. Either way, it will be dynamic. And then with the third house energy, this is all things to do with communication, travel, emails, texts, etc. and stuff like that. I would say to Capricorns, be careful what you say at this time, because here Pisces has slight boundary issues. So you may find your tongue is a bit more unleashed than usual. Remember, Capricorns tend to be quite conservative people. This could be where, you know, the jaw kind of loosens quite a bit, and they might say a few things that they weren't expecting. Or they may hear back things, particularly from a younger sibling or close friends or work colleagues. It's also the third house as well. It also deals with all forms of communications, entertainers of all kinds, entrepreneurialism. Many Capricorns might be deciding 2023 might be the year when they start their own business, something like that. So I think that kind of covers the ground on that one. So just be aware, particularly as well, the eclipse is happening in the 4th house. Pay attention to your mother. Make sure she's all good. Yeah, make sure she's all good. But there could be things to do around the home and the family and stuff like that. And maybe 1 or 2 secrets coming out as well. All right, let's leave it there for that one. So oh God, why did I do that? Oh, sorry, I'm going to be clicking away for... Oh, silly boy. Anyway, Aquarius. Here we go. Aquarius. As you know, this is YouTube, you know. It's not perfect. Anyway, Aquarius, let's do some counting. 1, 2, 3. So for Aquarius people, they are having this activation happening in their 2nd and 3rd house axis. Now, I've already described some of the 3rd house things, but for them, they're actually having the eclipse in the 3rd house. So this could be real dynamic revelations in regards to communications, travel of all kinds, education, speaking. 3rd house is also speaking. 2nd house is also speaking. Literally deals with the mouth. So Aquarians are going to have a lot to get off their chest. They may surprise people with just how much they have to say around this time, particularly during the spring. Yeah. Where the stellium is the 23rd of April 2023. So Aquarians are going to be very motivated to speak, to write, to communicate, to teach, to educate. They're going to be looking, the stellium in Pisces is going to be happening in their 2nd house. So they're going to be looking at their money and their finances, trying to get more real. Yeah. They're going to be trying to get more real about their money, particularly as the sun will be here, focusing that energy on the kingdom. They might also be looking at charity and philanthropy as well. There might be a bit of tithing going on for Aquarius people because Pisces is a very charitable sign anyway. And at this time of the year, the sun will be there. The 2nd house deals with money. And so when you put money and charity together, that can mean what? Giving things away. But also as well, it also means Aquarians have to be careful of their cash. Pisces is not the best sign for money. Yeah. It doesn't mean you can't make money. Many people with Pisces strong do make money. They just struggle to hold on to it. Yeah. Because they're not always necessarily keeping track of where their money is, or they're giving it away all the time. So what I would say is, Aquarians, you may be feeling largesse. You might be feeling super generous because Jupiter will be in your 2nd house, giving you money and opportunities, but don't give too much of it away. Save some of it. Yeah, save some of it. Be charitable, of course, but also be sensible. 3rd house, where the eclipse is actually happening. This could also deal with a younger sibling as well, but it's also dealing with, commutes, travel, communications of all kinds. So there could be some surprising messages that come out of the woodwork. Or you could be particularly dynamic with your speech. But either way, just watch your words. Be careful what you say because there could be some surprises. Finally, Pisces. Yeah, so here we go. Happening in 1st house and 2nd house. Yeah, 1, 2. So for Pisces, the eclipse is happening in the 2nd house. 2nd house is not just money, it's also family. So there could be interesting things that happen with dynamics that happen with family. Escalators, things going up, things going down. Things coming in, things coming out. Could mean a new member of the family as well, if we focus on the positive. But it will be very dynamic. It's likely to be tumultuous because, of course, Moon, Rahu, Venus, and Uranus are all in Aries at this time. Venus is the planet of relationships, yeah? And Moon can also represent mother. And then Uranus and Rahu are unpredictable things. This is happening in the house of the family. Mum could act out. Yeah? She could shock you with some revelation. You could be sitting there at the dinner table and then she just confesses that she had an affair and she's still in love with that person from all those years ago. I shouldn't be laughing. Oh my God. I mean, it'd be devastating, wouldn't it? But it could be stuff like that. Or maybe mum has a revelation about money. Or maybe she comes up with something in regards to money in the family. Maybe she gives you some money. You'll have to see, but there's going to be something unpredictable there. The stellium happening at this time, and for Pisces, this will literally be around their birthday. So remember, in sidereal astrology, the sun will be in Pisces in March and stuff like that. Let's get the exact dates, because I always bloody forget. Oh, Can't find the thing now. Un momento. Oh, gosh, look at this huge thing. I always forget the dates. Pisces. There we are. 14th of March to 12th of April. Yeah. Sidereally, that's where the sun is. So those are the people that are having their birthdays at this time. Dynamic. A lot going on. You're going to be feeling lots of different about a lot of things. You want to be wanting to do some personal healing. Chiron is there. Especially in regards to what? Family. How you feel about your family, how you feel about your finances, reevaluating all of those things. So the Pisces people are going to be doing a lot with their finance, all of that kind of stuff, looking at their family. That's where the eclipses are falling. But this is also a great time for transformation, revelations, downloads, and spiritual insights. So there we are. That completes the 12 signs of the zodiac. I've kind of rabbited on enough. I hope you found that interesting, guys. There's still one day. Is it one day? Yes, there's still one day of my special offer. Crimbo 20. Yeah, many of you have gone for it, but after tomorrow, whoosh, that's it. I'll do something next year, or the middle of, I don't know when next year, at some point, maybe middle of next year. But thank you to everyone as well who has booked. It's been wonderful reading your charts. My goodness, you guys are fascinating. This is why I love this work. I love Vedic astrology, as you know. It's very accurate. Western astrology, of course, works as well. Yes, of course it works, but they're looking at a slightly different part of the sky. It's more anticipatory of what is coming because they're 24 degrees ahead. But any Western astrology who's talented and knows their stuff will still be excellent. But with Vedic astrology, I just, when you say what you see, I just find it has this kind of concreteness to it. So let's see what happens next year. Of course, my website is thearchetypalblueprint.com. Oh, Saturn! My God, how could I forget? Let's get Shani in quickly. Saturn is about to change into sidereal Aquarius. Yeah. He's here, hovering around here, lurking here, and he's going to move in on the 17th of January, 2023. If you thought that the last 2 years have been quick and transformative, get ready. You're going to need to gaffer tape yourself into your underwear and strap yourself to something immovable. I can think of another word. But basically, everything is going to speed up. Saturn is, they call him what? The slow one. However, when he's in his own signs, this is what I find. Capricorn and Aquarius, he speeds things up. Aquarius is an air sign. We've got to remember as well, this is not only reference to water, but also energy, air, electricity. Rahu is the co-ruler of Aquarius. So is Uranus. Shani, Saturn, is coming back into his own sign. Stuff is gonna speed up, guys. Just get ready. New technologies, new energies coming in, new forms of healing modalities. Lots of stuff coming in for the collective. I think there's even going to be word of e-money. Yeah, not just Bitcoin and whatnot. We're talking about government e-money going to be floated. I think it's going to become law when Uranus moves into sidereal Taurus in 2025, but we're going to be having lots of flavors of talking about this. Government is going to want to tech up. Everyone is going to want to tech up. They're going to want to do the cutting edge. We're going to see developments as well, potentially as well, with solar panels, clean energy. Already, have you guys seen on CNN or what have you, where they've been talking about the nuclear fusion, creating a mini star, which is in a, what's it called? In a kind of factory kind of environment to produce clean energy, more energy coming out then put in and from water. Yeah, incredible. We knew that this stuff was possible, but this is the first time they've been able to kind of actually replicate it. Let's see how that develops. We're going to be having a bigger push on renewable energy, solar panels. Remember, Pluto is going through sidereal Capricorn at the moment, which means, but Pluto is that planet of energy of all kinds. And that's why I said we're going to see these transformations. But once Saturn is there, it's going to be amped up. Saturn's going to be in Aquarius, give or take, for 2.5 years. He'll dip into Pisces at some point and then come back as he normally does, his hokey cokey. Lots of speed. Aviation is going to be a big debate. There could be talk about new planes as well, innovation, all things that fly through the air, communications as well, internet. There might be some disruptions to communications and internet at some point, as, you know, various actors on the world stage are doing their thing. Let's see what happens. Could it be that Ukraine gets some kind of air advantage, perhaps? Yeah, which could potentially maybe whoosh, end that thing once and for all. That war in Ukraine, we'll have to see. People are going to be coming up with altruistic ideas, vision of the future. But not everyone will necessarily like what those visions could be, because it could be the government saying, right, everything's going to be like this now. And everyone's going to be like, no, because Aquarius is also a sign of rebellion, innovation, sudden shocks and surprises, liberation, breaking free. Yeah, so we're going to have big dynamics playing out in 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to stop it there. Oh, of course, my website is thearchetypalblueprint.com. See you for now. Much love and praise. Have a great Christmas. Bye-bye.